Hi, everybody. Bob George here on this Boston Sports Podcast for Monday, January 19th, Martin Luther King Day. Boy, how do you Patriot fans feel now? Here we are back in the AFC Championship Game. Wow, we're one win away from the Super Bowl, from the show. Unbelievable. Just absolutely unbelievable. Well, we'll rehash this game, but I've got a few little specific areas to cover here in preparation for what will be next week, the toughest test of the Patriots this season. A test in which other Patriot teams in past years have failed. All right, so stay tuned next for the Boston Sports Podcast for Monday, January 19th, 2026. Please join us. Hi there, Bob George here with all of you Boston sports fans and Patriots fans who are just not believing what they're seeing. Last week it was the Los Angeles Chargers. This week it was the Houston Texans. Teams with great defenses, and the Patriots, didn't matter to us. You can come in here and be the second coming of the 85 Chicago Bears for all we care. Well, let's not go that far. But this is the second week in a row that there's been a playoff game in Foxborough, and the Patriots have won on the strength of their defense. The final score was 28-16. Texans still can't win a divisional playoff game, let alone a game in Foxborough. But that franchise has never been to an AFC Championship game, let alone a Super Bowl. They're the only, it said on the broadcast, on ESPN's broadcast, that the Houston Texans are the only team in the NFL that's never played in a conference championship game. But, wow, what the Patriot defense did to C.J. Stroud was frightening at times. Okay, at the end of the second quarter, towards halftime, Stroud looked like, he wanted his nana. I mean, good Lord. I mean, you remember what Sam Darnold used to say about seeing ghosts and, what must C.J. Stroud have been thinking? And this is a guy I used to see run roughshod all over Michigan. This is, a few years back when he was at Ohio State. Okay, I know I keep mentioning that, but again, a lot of these players we keep running across went to one of the two schools. And, so did Mike Vrabel. And it's amazing what this Patriot defense, now that they're all back and now that they're all healthy, look at what they're doing. Now, I know they gave up 16 points today, whereas they only gave up 3 last week, but man. And then the Patriots offense against this terrific defense dropped 28 points on them. Whew. I mean, wow. So, I mean, they held Houston offensively to a touchdown and 3 field goals. Good job. And again, they allowed Drake May a wide berth again on margin of error. And that's going to be topic number 1 here. Okay? Now, Drake May needs to do something about this ball security issue. Okay, it depends on what. So, he had what, he had a zillion fumbles and fortunately lost only 1 or 2 of them. Then he had, he had 1 or 2 interceptions. But of course, C.J. Stroud did worse. As a team, the Patriots had 3 turnovers. The Texans had 5. Okay, for Drake May, he's got to understand that that's 3 too many. Now, you got yourself one big, huge game coming up this next weekend. Now, personally, I hate it. And again, I go back a couple decades. Okay? I hate it when the Patriots have to go play at Denver, especially in the postseason. Now, last week, May had, several turnovers also against the Chargers. Didn't matter. They won. This week, it was worse, probably, I believe. And they still won. May has still got the talent to overcome these multi-turnover games here with these unbelievable throws he can make. If you take away these turnovers, the ball security issue, if you take it away, the Patriots are the most frightening team in the NFL, and that includes the NFC. What May is doing offensively that's not turnover related is still phenomenal. He made 3 insane touchdown throws against the Texans. One to Pop Douglas in the first quarter, that 4th and 1, that quick slant for 28 yards. Then that crazy catch by Stephon Diggs. He had 2 guys draped all over him in the end zone. May throws a bullet, a laser right there, exactly where it needed to be. And Diggs, made the catch barely, like a Julian Edelman type catch, I guess. And then fell down just the right way, held on to the ball, and touchdown. And then probably I've been listening to other podcasts tonight, where other voices have been saying that the touchdown pass to Kayshon Boutte in the fourth quarter, and I think it was early in the fourth quarter. It was I'm not counting the penalty, it was the fourth play of the fourth quarter with Derek Stingley Jr. in coverage, was the best throw that he's ever made as a Patriot. I mean, the spot to where he threw to was nuts. And then the catch Boutte made, again, was Odell Beckham Jr. worthy. But this is about May, not Boutte. Okay, so you're making these kind of throws. You still got a 100 passer rating, 100.7. So why are you still putting the pig on the ground? Why are you still susceptible to these strip sacks? Okay, do you not know that Will Anderson is really good? Okay, and these other guys, Azeez Al-Shahir and Danielle Hunter, you do know these guys are good, right? Okay, but that's 2 games in a row now that you've scared us half to death by all these turnovers, mostly fumbles today. Now, some of you may know that I'm a retired teacher, okay? So I'm going to share with you something I used to tell my students that I'm not seeing here with Drake May. Or if I'm seeing it, it's behind the scenes. We're not getting a full look-see on the field. Right now, May's natural talent is just off the charts, out of bounds. It's incredible. Just attach whatever metaphor or descriptive phrase you can. He's fantastic. He's fantastic. Okay, he's also young, and he's got to learn. Now, here he is in his first playoffs. He's already 2-0 in the playoffs. Now, he's got a way to go before he catches Brady's 10-0, but that's not worth mentioning right now. Okay, here's what I used to tell my students. Beginning of the year, I would hand out this flyer that said, among other things, number 1, make mistakes based upon what you don't know. And number two, do not repeat mistakes based upon what you do know. Okay? I would tell kids, if you don't know something, my job is to teach you. That's what I do. I teach. Okay? That's what I do. It's what I've loved doing for the last 30, 35 some odd years. It eventually was 40 years. Okay? And that's what May's got to do. Okay, now again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm an expert on quarterbacking. Okay? Just throw me out there and I'll do to him what I... No. I can't teach quarterbacking. But I could teach kids. Of course, Drake, you're not a kid. But you cannot, and I want to make this perfectly clear, not just to Drake May, but all you Patriots. You're going to be in for the toughest test of your professional careers this coming weekend at Empower Field and Mile High, whatever the name of it is. I believe that's what it is. I think I finally got it. Against an insane crowd and 5,000 feet of elevation. Okay? All right, now, this is the one place that I wanted to avoid. But unfortunately, because you lost to the Las Vegas Raiders on week one, we lost the Common Games tiebreaker. So, boom, here we are. We have to go to Denver instead of them coming to us. Although, that's not fair. Because I think if we had somehow tied them in Common Games by beating the Raiders in week one, we lose to the tiebreaker on probably strength of victory because of that easy schedule. So I think we'd still be going to Denver. Broncos, what can I say? They got another second-year quarterback, Bo Nix, who, the same thing's been happening there. Okay, I've been to Colorado. It's a beautiful state. I've been to Vail. I learned to ski there. But as far as the Broncos go, I hate them. I hate going there. I hate playing them. In the regular season, lately, the Patriots have been doing a little bit better. Red Sox won a World Series there once, 2007 against the Colorado Rockies, when we learned about what a humidor was. Anyway, Drake May and all the other Patriots, whatever mistakes you've been making, you better clear them up. Or else forget about going to Santa Clara in beginning of February. Super Bowl 60 will be at Levi Stadium, home of the 49ers. Okay, so do something about those turnovers. As everything else about May's game, I wouldn't change a thing, except just enjoy his year-to-year growth. Maybe 3-4 years from now, he'll make more unbelievable throws he can't make now, but could down the road. But you have a chance here to go to the Super Bowl, which is a test that Patriot teams have passed. In case you don't know, the Patriots have been to 11 Super Bowls in their history. Most in NFL history. They've won 6 of them, tied for the most with Pittsburgh. Okay? So we're talking now, we're almost at the top of the mountain here. Wow. I mean, I've been watching people on podcasts tonight saying, oh, God, can you believe we're going to the AFC Championship Game? Well, count me in on that. Boy, I can't believe we're going to the AFC Championship Game. Really, it's unbelievable. But there's job one. Okay, protect the football. What you can get away with against Houston and the Chargers, you won't get away with against the Broncos. I don't care who's not playing in that game. Okay? Now, that goes for all players, not just Drake May. I don't mean to be too critical of who I think might be and should be the league most valuable player. But he has to protect the football, without a doubt. Okay, now let's get on to the next item, and that is going to Denver. Now, okay, the Patriots, yes, are 0-3 in their history playoff games at Denver. 0-3. One game was in the mid-'80s. I think it was just after they got whooped by the Bears in Super Bowl 20. The next year, they went to Denver in like an early round game and lost something like, I don't know, what was it, 22-15 or something like that. And then there were two games last decade where the Broncos beat them and went to Super Bowl 48 and got whooped by the Seattle Seahawks. And then 2 years later, they went up there, got beaten by the Broncos, and the Broncos went on to win Super Bowl 50. Okay, in one of those two Super Bowls, it was the end of the season, which rankled everybody, where they played Miami in the last game of the season. It was at Miami. And Bill Belichick, for reasons, again, known only to himself, he won't tell you anything about that game like he won't tell you about why he didn't play Malcolm Butler in Super Bowl 52. He's not going to say a darn thing. Well, whatever. He chose to just run the football all game long. He wanted to work on the running game, okay? He didn't pause to remember, oh yeah, you need to win that game to clinch home field throughout the playoffs. Well, yeah, they lost. Didn't seem to bother him. I think he thought, that's okay, we'll just go up to Denver, win there, because we would have beaten them in Foxborough, we'll just beat them up in Denver. Yeah, you thought wrong. Okay, Mr. Belichick, you thought wrong. Denver won. And I think that was the game where only two people predicted a Patriot loss, me and Ron Borges, who at the time I think was still writing with the Globe. I don't remember, but Borges predicted the Broncos would win, and he almost got the score right on the button. I think it was, final was like 20-18 or something like that. The Patriots tied it at the end, but missed the 2-point conversion to send it to overtime, and they lost by 2 points. I think it was 20-18. And Borges predicted 20-17. And I predicted something else, but I was one of only two people that thought Denver would win, and I was right. People were looking at me thinking I was, what? Come on. They'll win. They'll win. Nope. Broncos went all the way, won Super Bowl 50. They took on a Carolina Panthers team that had Cam Newton, who forever tarnished his reputation by losing a fumble and not bothering to try and fall on the ball, and he got castigated for that. Okay, so we're going to Denver. Now, here's the problem with Denver. Okay, number one, altitude. Yes, the altitude does matter, and anybody who says it doesn't is a liar or an idiot or both. Okay, I have been to Colorado. All right, now, in Denver, it's right around, when they say it's a mile high, they aren't kidding. Because if you climb the steps of the state capitol in Denver, there's one of those steps is marked. This step right here is 5,280 feet above sea level. All right, how far up the stadium is, I don't know. Okay, but here are some realities about Colorado. All right, now, admittedly, we're going to go a little higher up here. I mentioned earlier that I learned how to ski at Vail, Colorado in the early 80s. It was a lot of fun. Had some friends from UMass there, and I went to visit them when I was doing my graduate work at Michigan. We had spring break, whereas at UMass we had it's just a little different in college. You have spring break, whereas growing up in Western Mass, my hometown, we had 2 weeks off in the winter, one in February, one in April. So I would go out to Vail to visit my friends. Now, here's one thing I noticed. I would be sitting around in the living room of their ski chalet visiting with them. And base of Vail Valley base is 8,000 feet above sea level. And I noticed that every 5-10 minutes or so, I had to catch my breath. Like, why? How come I'm out of breath here? And then I'd talk some more with the guys. We were watching movies or some ball game or sports or hockey game or whatever. And then 5-10 minutes later, I have to catch my breath again. And then I said to myself, oh man, it's the altitude. So I'd go out on Vail Mountain, ski. Now, the top of Vail Mountain is 11,000 feet. Okay? Now, I mean, the highest point in Colorado is 14,000 feet or something like that, I think. Or 13,000 Mount Elbert. But Vail Mountain's 11,000 feet. Okay? And you have to catch your breath if you're not used to the area. Now, back then I was in my early 20s and I could ski, and I learned eventually. I couldn't do the Black Diamond Mountains. I kept it just to green and blue. And I was pretty good. But the altitude's real. And I'm afraid that what's going to happen is the Patriot defense is going to sell out for periods 1, 2, and 3. And then in the fourth quarter, they're going to be all gassed and sucking wind there because they're not getting enough oxygen. They'll have to go over to the bench every other play and put the thing over their nose and breathe in pure oxygen. You know, it's real. Okay? It's the altitude is a real thing. What I would like the Patriots to do is to head out to Colorado either Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that and practice out there. But then that'll cost them a day's worth of travel. You know, you take that beautiful 747 that the Patriots have, it's still going to take 4 hours to get there. And then, you pick up 2 hours along the way, so that will help a little bit. But still, it'll give you more time to get acclimated to that altitude. Again, in the fourth quarter, the Broncos will, if it's a close game, the Broncos have a decided advantage because of that thin air. Okay, now, again, it's not as bad in Denver as it is elsewhere. Josh Allen, by the way, if he had gotten to go to Denver, well, actually did. He was there Saturday. Josh Allen would be the least affected by the altitude because he played his college ball in Wyoming. Okay, University of Wyoming. And Laramie, War Memorial Stadium is 7,000 feet above sea level. So Josh Allen, 5,000 to him is probably nothing. But anyway, the altitude does matter. Okay, so prepare for it. Take the team out there a couple days early, not like Saturday. You know. And then finally, the Patriots got a real break. And I don't like to call this a break. All right? I don't like to call this a break because it's misfortune. It's like hitting the lottery, but not like the jackpot, like you won $1,000 or something like that. Not 500 million or something like that. The Patriots caught a break, and it's probably their best chance to win the game. Now, again, we don't wish this on any player. Okay, I mean, I don't mind if both teams are perfectly healthy. I don't want the Patriots to look back and think, we won, but so-and-so was absent, that's why we won. Well, so-and-so absent, we're going to get one of the biggest so-and-sos of all here. The new quarterback for the Broncos, well, he's in his second year, Bo Nix. This was kind of sudden because I was watching the game here in my home, the Buffalo-Denver game. Then I drove up to my daughter's house, and my wife was there, and the three of us watched the second game on Saturday, San Francisco and Seattle. And right at the start of the game comes this buzz alert on my phone from ESPN. And of course, it's the almighty Adam Schefter, who is breaking this news story that Bo Nix suffered a broken ankle in the end of the overtime period right before Will Lutz's game-winning field goal. and is out for the rest of the playoffs. He has to go in for surgery like Wednesday, and he will miss whatever games the Broncos have left. And then it was mentioned, well, okay, who's going to start in his place? And it was mentioned that it was Jarrett Stidham. You ever heard of him? Oh, yeah, of course you heard of Jarrett Stidham. Didn't he start? Wasn't he the Patriots starting quarterback for a while there when Cam Newton was injured? Or when Mac Jones was injured a couple years ago? Patriots drafted him out of Auburn. Don't ask me what year or what round. I forget. I think it was 5th round. I'm not sure. I know he's out of Auburn. And he was, I believe, I don't know if he was Tom Brady's backup. I think he came after Brady left. I think he was Cam Newton's backup, and then he was Mac Jones's backup. But all I know is he's a former Patriot. We've seen him play. Now, Sean Payton took great care. Sean Payton, of course, is the Denver coach. He took great care at that press conference telling everybody, look, Jarrett Stidham's going to be all right. I promise you, he's going to be just fine. So whoever he has to play better be darn ready for him. Okay, I shouldn't laugh because what do you know? Stidham might show up there and play the game of his life. Okay? But like when you go into Denver and you play somebody like, and I wrote this in my post-game article, Danny Cannell or Brock Osweiler, you can win. Tim Tebow, oh boy, that's, yeah, the Patriots had a horrible time with Tim Tebow, didn't they? And of course, at one point, Tebow played for the Patriots. But quarterbacks like, what was it, Jake Plummer? He beat them and he gave Jake Plummer, I think, is the one in 20 years ago that gave Brady his first ever postseason loss at Denver. And then, of course, those two playoff games last decade. Who was the quarterback for Denver? Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah, Peyton Manning. So, yeah, we got wonderful memories of Denver, don't we? Well, there was one game in 2003 which was great. That was where, Danny Cannell was the Bronco quarterback. And that's the game where at the end with 2-3 minutes to go, Belichick took an intentional safety by having Dan Copeland snap the ball out of the end zone. He wound up snapping it off of the uprights, but that's still a safety. And it was fortuitous. The Patriots, instead of trailing by 1, trailed by 3, but it flipped the field position because the punter back then was able to boom one. May have been Josh Miller. I won't swear to it. Boomed one, and the Broncos, as the Patriot defense correctly did, held them to 3 and out. They kicked the ball back to the Patriots, and in the end, they picked up 40 yards of field position. Tom Brady was able to move the Patriots down. They needed a field goal to tie. They didn't tie. They're going to win the game. And when Brady got to about the 15-yard line, he found David Givens at the pylon. Whoop, touchdown. Patriots win 30-26. In Denver, they can win. It's never happened in the postseason. 0-3. Go look it up. So I'm telling y'all, the Patriots had, got a little bit of a break there. They get to face Jarrett Stidham. If the Patriot offense doesn't keep handing the ball over to Denver, okay, again, you got the worst quarterback you'll face in the postseason. Okay, he's the worst of Herbert, Stroud, and whoever you might face in the Super Bowl. There would be either Darnold or now we know the Rams won, so Stafford, Darnold or Stafford. Of those 5, Stidham's the worst. Or 4 or 5, whatever. Okay, Stidham's the worst. So it's a game that the Patriots should win if they don't turn the ball over, if they play their game, and if Josh McDaniel can come up with a good game plan to deal with the Denver defense. But Drake May cannot keep turning the ball over. And I would also, just to be to exercise due prudence here, and I'm sure that Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels do not need to hear this from me. Prepare for Jarrett Stidham as if you were preparing for John Elway. Let's go all the way here. Pretend you're prepping for John Elway. Never mind Bo Nix. Prepare for John Elway. Nix is great. I would be extremely concerned about facing Bo Nix. But he's out of the picture now. Jarrett Stidham is a known commodity in Foxborough. Okay, Josh McDaniels should. No, but see, that goes to the defensive side of the ball. But that's your best chance to win the game, is to take care of the football, good game plan, take that crowd out of the game, and it might happen. So, but anyway, Patriots-Broncos next Sunday. I believe, again, similar starting time. It'll be around the 12 noon hour, 3 o'clock out, 12 noon here, 3 o'clock Eastern. It'll be on CBS, Jim Nantz, Tony Romo. Okay, so we're back in the AFC Championship game. Everybody get happy. And then start talking to your almighty about Drake may have a great day on Sunday. All right, click the subscribe button. And you know where it is on your screen. Click it. Join our network. Join our podcasts every time we have one. And, of course, don't forget your comments. Want to hear from you if you'd like. And, of course, today's Martin Luther King Day. And take a moment and remember what a great man he was and all the great things he did for this country and for civil rights. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you later. For all of us here at the podcast, this is Bob George saying goodbye, everybody.